What's going on, you guys? Sambo here. Welcome back to a special little video about Samivostok. Now, I wasn't going to do any more videos about this city, but I thought let's do one more, maybe another one after this. But in this video, I want to show off how the map looked before and how it looks now, because there's actually a lot of changes that I made to the terrain, and it's also just a nice way to wrap up all of the construction and just the building I've done throughout this whole map. And there's there's just a lot to show you guys. So I want to go through, and throughout this whole video there's going to be a lot of before and after shots, which I just think is really cool to look at. And I also want to show off how the old town looked before all of the mass production and expansion of the city. So a lot to go through in this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed Samivostok, because I've definitely enjoyed building this city. It's been really awesome to go through everything, and you know what, I've kind of taught myself a lot as well, thanks to all of you guys who kind of guided me with certain things in the comments below. So without further ado, let's get into it and check out everything in Samivostok. Alright, so why don't we check out the old town completely before anything else was built in the area. So completely before we had any trains in the area, and it actually looked really cool just on its own, which I think is really realistic to show. So I'm just going to show you guys everything before trains, roads, back when there was lots of trees, even more trees filled in, and just the old town on its own. I think it looks so cool. Look at that. It looks so cozy, doesn't it? I put in some farmlands and it just looks really awesome. It fits in with the area. Look at that. I think it really suits the area. Now, I know it's a mixture of architecture, but it does fit in. But let's start the before and after views. Look at that. It looks so cozy, but compared to now, oof, look at that. That's a big change. And then if we go here as well, from this view, there's probably the biggest change because a lot of rivers are filled in, and I'll cover all of that throughout the whole video. So let's go check out some of the other before and after shots on the original map. In case some of you missed it, so the downtown area originally actually had one huge river going through the whole middle of it. So the actual downtown area used to be an island. This part here used to be a huge big swamp area. So a lot of these changes I did before I started building on the city. Here is another example. So this area was all swamp and I filled it all in. You may notice some glitching throughout the map. I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah, there's a lot of changes throughout this whole map. So I've completely changed riverways. I filled in rivers, I filled in swamps, I completely changed terrains on certain areas. I've lowered and increased the water levels. I've changed the water maker locations. Even some of the highways, for example, have been sunken to basically allow for more growth, not only just in the downtown area, but throughout a lot of these areas. Same with the train lines. Some of the train lines have been sunken underground, just so we have more space to build on top. And if we also look at this huge big interchange here, completely sunk all of that to allow for more growth and just to hide it. And I think it looks a lot better having it hidden underneath. So this map, it's called Skagen. It's very hilly. It's quite difficult to build in because you're really restrained to just building on these flat areas along the waterline. So you really can't do too much urban sprawl, which is great if you want to have a really dense city. And even though this city, it is kind of done in the sense for YouTube, a city, it isn't really ever complete in my opinion. There's always going to be other things that you can do, such as expansion up the hills or gentrification or really just upgrading roads and just little things like that. With over 200,000 inhabitants, 28 city districts, 204 in-game years and over a year in the making, a traffic flow of above 90%, 56 individual public transport lines, a citywide pedestrian highway, crazy rivers and extreme mountain terrains, this is my city, Samivostok. Thank you everyone so much for checking out my city and sticking around for the very long process. I hope you all enjoyed. I really enjoyed making this city and I can't wait to see what else happens in the future.